different look with the Mets starting a left-hander this afternoon. That moves on Lopez up to the leadoff spot for the 19th time this year. Leo Jimenez gets his first start in the series. So does Esteury Ruiz, as the Marlins won last night 5-2 to even up the series at a game apiece.
Yeah, and you've got Zach Thornton here. He's about 60% fastballs. As Gary and I were talking off air, he's going to use that cutter a lot to get in on the righties, and it's a lot of fastballs that he's coming at you with. And the biggest secondary pitch he likes to go to is the slider. It's about 30% sliders, just sprinkles in the curve and the changeup.
Otto Lopez leads off Thornton's first pitch, in for a strike, and we're underway. Mets have done a great job against Lopez so far, not only in this series but across the 8 games between the Mets and Marlins this year. Lopez is just 3 for 28 against Met pitching. He's hitting .338 against everybody else. Starts today second in the National League in batting, .322, 4 points behind Luis Arraez of the Giants. Zach Thornton's 6th major league start. He has been a revelation so far. And he comes inside with a breaking ball, and it's 1-2 to Lopez with Heriberto Hernandez and Liam Hicks to follow. Marlins a game over 500 with their win last night, just a game and a half off the pace in the National League wildcard race, which certainly raises the question of whether the Marlins will try to add at the deadline or potentially subtract. 1-2 on the way, and the cutter misses inside. It's 2-2. You would hope that the Marlins would go for it in a year where they're right on the brink of being in the postseason picture. And Thornton comes inside, and it's 3-2. Well, there are the wild card standings. The Phillies have fallen into that 3rd spot. They're 3-10 since the All-Star break, and there are the Padres, Marlins, Pirates, and Nationals right on their heels. 3-2 to the leadoff hitter, and Lopez hits it sharply. One hop to Lindor, and he drops it. And Lopez is safe at first.
Yeah, Francisco gets this ball from Lopez. He's going to two-handed. He thinks he's got it, but he's got to go so quick that he ends up losing it on the transfer. Sometimes when you're having to give a little bit of ground to make sure you catch it, you feel like you got to rush because you're not going to get as much on the throw. He's unable to get the handle. This is a defense brought to you by Genesis. We got Brett Beatty playing a little third base over there today as Bo Bichette gets a chance at DH.
So an error on Lindor to open the game. And now Heriberto Hernandez moved up to the 2 spot against the lefty. 0 for 6 in this series. Lopez a base stealer, 22 on the year, and a high fastball has Hernandez swinging 0-1. Hernandez 16 extra base hits in July. That tied him with Pete Crow Armstrong for the most in the major leagues, but the Mets have held him in check so far in this series. 9 of his 16 home runs have come against lefties. Comes up and in with that cutter, and it's 1-1. Thornton has had trouble getting his footing in games. Last outing against the Braves gave up hits to 3 of the first 4 batters. He was helped out by 3 double play balls in that last start. One and 1 to Hernandez with the left-hand batter Liam Hicks on deck. Big lead for Lopez at first. Zach stares him down and deals home and leaves that cutter out away, and Hernandez misses it 1-2. Brock Ballou, the young home plate umpire today. Chris Conroy's the crew chief at first. Ben May and Brendan Miller rounding out the crew. See if Ballou has as big a strike zone as Miller did last night. Marlins have stolen 120 bases this year. That's 2nd in the National League. Lopez with 22. Esteury Ruiz is their team leader in steals with 25. He's in the lineup today. And Hernandez rips one foul. And the Marlins have the great month of June, going 20-6. Then they had the 12-game losing streak that they just halted this past week. They've won 4 of their last 5 now, trying to restart things after a rough stretch. They're a contact team. They're a patient team. Not a lot of power. Hernandez turns one foul. Hernandez leads the Marlins in home runs. He has 16. Kyle Stowers hit his 16th last night to tie him.
Yeah, looking at the scoreboard just from the first two batters, Lopez and Hernandez, it looks like they don't walk a ton in relation to their batting averages. We'll see if Thornton's able to get him swinging a bad pitch right here, maybe induce a double play ground ball.
Hernandez takes a changeup up and away, and it's 2-2. Thornton has not thrown a lot of changeups in his first 5 starts. Just a 4% pitch for him. It's been mostly about the four-seamer and the cutter, with the sweeper mixed in. 2-2. Lopez runs. It's hit sharply to Lindor. The flip to second too late. The throw to first in time. So with Lopez in motion, the Mets get the out at first. 6-4-3. And Lopez pulls in at second.
I had to catch myself on the 6-4-3 put out for 1. But here's Francisco. He gets this one. I think you go ahead and take a chance. The ball's hit so hard that Marcus is going to have plenty of time to be able to record the 6-4-3 1 put out. But I don't mind that at all, taking a chance, even though Francisco must have felt like he wasn't going to get him at second. Just go ahead and take a shot.
Give you a chance to negate the miscue that started the end.
Could have.
So now Liam Hicks, who's hitting just 195 against lefties this year. He's had himself a terrific year overall. Layden McCullough got just about every available right-handed bat into the lineup today, but Hicks and Stowers and Conine, all left-hand hitters in the lineup, and all 3 of those guys have struggled against lefties this year. And Hicks fouls back a fastball, and it's 1-1. Liam Hicks catching today after DHing the first 2 games of this series. As they did last year, they've rotated him around, catching, first base, DH. Their young catcher Joe Mack in the day off today against the lefty. And the curveball drops in for a strike to Hicks, and it's 1-2.
Really good breaking ball from Thornton to get ahead in the count. It's probably the best bender we've seen him throw today.
Zach Thornton, born in Minnesota but grew up in Kansas. 1-2 coming, and Hicks fouls it away. Thornton did not have any Division I offers coming out of high school. Went to Barton Community College in Kansas, which is where he says he refined his pitching. Moved on to Grand Canyon University, and the Mets got him in the 5th round of the 2023 draft. And after a short stay in AAA, now making his 6th big league start. 1-2 coming, and the curveball low and away. 2-2.
And here's his usage, as Gary was talking about. He really just sprinkles in and just flashes the changeup and the curveball. It looks like he'll change the shape on his sweeper, as you were talking about. That one, it looked like he tried to bury in the dirt. And then again, it's cutters inside and away from left-handed hitters inside the righties, and that four-seam fastball at the top of the zone to try to make you be aware of it and see if he can win in the zone with that.
Zach had an 18-inning scoreless streak, stopped in his last start against the Braves, but still pitched well, and the Mets scored for him that day. Hit toward the hole, and Hicks has a base hit. Lopez being waved around third. Here comes the throw to the plate by Teller. It gets away from Torrens, and down to second base goes Hicks. It's 1-0 Miami. So Hicks, with the left side wide open, pokes it through the hole. Drives in his 61st run of the year. And the Marlins take advantage of the Lindor error to take the early lead.
As you said, Gary, Liam Hicks gets look like a cutter out over the plate, and he shoots it through the 5-6 hole. I'll be honest with you, I thought this ball would have been better off getting cut off or thrown straight into second. Didn't feel like there was ever a chance for a play at the plate, as we see Otto Lopez gets a good read on the ball in front of him. Even though Tyrone Taylor is short, he's short out there in left field. I just don't think he had enough time. Ball wasn't hit hard enough for a play at the plate. Marlins take the extra base runner in scoring position.
So Hicks moves to second. Here's Xavier Edwards.
And here's the swing again. You can see that cut shape to it, just moving away from him, but Hicks is able to kind of get the barrel behind the ball, and he catches it in the back of what I would call, and K-Long would call, the contact window, and shoots it the other way for a base hit.
Edwards takes inside, and it's 2-0. So the first inning continues to be a big hurdle for Thornton early in his career. Broken bat bloop, and Lindor comes in to get it for the second out. that bat will head to the kindling pile. And they're 2 away.
Yeah, not exactly what he was looking for, 2-0, but hats off to Zach Thornton for being able to shove that cutter up and in and get it close enough to the zone that Edwards felt like he needed to offer at it.
Now Leo Jimenez, who is getting the start at third base against the left-hander. He's been platooned since they picked him up from Toronto right around the start of the season. And Thornton catches the inside corner with the cutter, 0-1. Jimenez played parts of 2 years in Toronto, making his 35th start. The Marlins made a player move today. Ground ball to the right side, snagged nicely by Young. Thornton gets over to cover and they get the out. Jared Young ranging far to his right and making a nice pickup to start the 3-1 to end the inning.
Whoa, oh, what a play.
Like a young Daniel Murphy.
He saw it.
Unearned run. Nice drone shot. Brought to you by Toyota. That's a nice view. See some of the scuffs in the outfield from the soccer action.
I was going to say, that looks like a soccer pitch from up top, like a circle, the center half.
On the Mets starting lineup, Tyrone Taylor gets a start today, so does Luis Torrens. Brett Beatty playing third with Bichette DHing. That's sporting their racing strops. Let's see if they can channel some 1986 against the South Jersey native Tyler Phillips.
Tyler Phillips is coming at you. Going to go 95-96 with his fastball. Splitter is going to be some of the put out pitch, slider as well. He mixes all three of those about 25% of the time.
Ewing flies one into shallow right center, angling in his Sanoja. And Javier Sanoja making just his 4th start in right field, puts it away.
And here's your Marlins defense, brought to you by Chevy. And we'll stay with Liam Hicks behind the plate, who's coming off of an RBI base hit in the top of the 1st inning. And you can see a bit of gold out there for the Marlins.
Sanoja was the utility Gold Glove in the National League last year. But right field is a position he has not played a whole lot. Here's Lindor, who homered last night. Francisco now with 15 RBIs in his last 15 games. Last night was his 150th home run as a Met, which sent him past Carlos Beltran for 7th on the Mets all-time home run list. And I find that curious that no player against the Marlins in their history, and the Marlins came into the league in 1993, has ever had as long a hitting streak against Miami as Lindor's 21 games.
Francisco gets a curveball. He gets way up into what used to be the Pepsi porch. Now it's the upper deck.
Coca-Cola corner.
Oh.
We changed brands. Line into right center, a base hit for Lindor. So Francisco now 4 for 8 in the series, and the Mets have a 1-out base run.
Yeah, Francisco continues his hot hitting. There he is, right at contact. You can see how he maybe inside on him a little bit. It may have jammed him just a little bit, but he's able to get into the gap for a clean base hit. I felt like it was a breaking ball as well, too, just a little bit lower than the breaking ball he hit out for a home run last night, but really like to see him getting that full turn and hammering the ball into the pool gap.
Now Bo Bichette, who's DHing today, 2 for 8 in this series, and takes curveball for a strike. Bichette has DH'd 33 games in his career. He's been out there playing just about every day this year. This gives Brett Beatty a chance to play his natural position at third base today. You know, and I don't know whether there's communication between the front office and the manager about how they'd like to showcase players for possible trades, but that could be part of why Brett's playing third today.
Yeah, I think so. Get a chance to get him out there. I mean, we've been seeing Tyrone Taylor and Luis Robert are getting their reps out there, which has taken away a bit of playing time from the younger players.
Double play ball if they hurry. The flip to Edwards, the turn not in time. That glove flip by Lopez almost went awry, but Edwards was able to grab it, and they get the out at second.
He almost hit Edwards in the shin guard. talking about soccer. He goes with the glove flip, one-handed to him. Almost wasn't sure. Edwards wasn't sure how he's going to get it. Plays a little bit of self-defense and heaves it over to first just in case. But who's ever going to get him?
Overhand glove flip. That's very unusual.
He didn't know what he wanted to do either. I don't think Otto knew what he was going to do either. But they end up getting the fielder's choice. Caught between two minds, the two people.
So 2 away. Bichette at first, and here's Carson Bench, who had a 3-hit game last night. Bench 4 for 8 in this series, up to 266 on the year. And he laces one into right center for a base hit. Bichette will go to third. And Bench has his 5th hit in this series. Mets up first and third with 2 out.
Yeah, feels like you get another breaking ball here for Carson Bench. You could see him as the ball comes in, barrel flattens right behind him, and another bullet to right center field, just like Francisco Lindor. I think he's got a pretty turn when he really gets into one. Yep, Bo easily be able to get first or third. With a help out Jared Young, who can have that 3-4 hole open right now and see if he can hit it if he wants to.
Jared 1 for 4 in this series. First and third, 2 out. He gets a first pitch breaking ball and fouls it back. Young continues to get the majority of the reps at first base. Hitting .286 with runners in scoring position this year. Looking to pick one up with 2 out. Tyler Phillips began the year in the bullpen for the Marlins. Pitched extremely well. He made his first start of the year against the Mets in late May. In fact, his first 2 starts were against the Mets. One in Miami, a no decision, and one here where he lost, giving up 3 runs in 5 innings. And a ground ball right at Lopez. He's going to run to the bag and get the force, and that retires the side. Mets strand a pair, 1-0 Marlins after 1.
There are home runs, and then
score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, visit MLBshop.com/Mets, the official source for your Mets gear. Nobody's buying that you're bunting Kyle Stowers. It's homered in each of the first 2 games of this series and 4 in his last 6 games. However, he's hitting just .157 against lefties, so maybe he was serious. This was his bomb last night.
I saw this one last night in real time. You get the breaking ball and the bend. You got to remember the curveball's already got the spin built into it. So even though it came off high in a launch angle, it's going to go. Oh boy.
And Stowers hits another ball hard as he drills one into right center for a leadoff hit. So on a 0-2 pitch, Stowers gets a hit against the lefties. Well, within the division, only Juan Soto and Michael Harris have a higher OPS than Kyle Stowers against the NL East. Stowers' overall numbers are down this year, but he has certainly put up good numbers against his own division.
He's going to ask for the old schedule back. 19 games against division opponents.
Here's Javier Sanoja, 1 for 4 in this series. And he takes a strike on the outer edge. Sanoja making his 71st start at 6 different positions. Right field today, only the 4th time in the majors he started in right field. He fouls back the sinker away, and it's 0-2. This is what has characterized Thornton's early work in the big leagues. He is a strike thrower.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of control and command that accelerated his path to the big leagues. We were asking about Jonathan Santucci, who's a big left-handed pitching prospect for the Mets who just got elevated to AAA, and we were wondering whether he would be on as quick a path as Thornton, and the word we got was, well, Santucci might have better stuff, but he's got to learn the command the way Thornton has it. And, you know, for a guy who throws 92 miles an hour to be successful in the major leagues, That's a prerequisite.
Oh, you got to have command. Now, there's also command for balls as well, too. You can command pitches out of the zone. Sometimes if you end up throwing too many strikes, you can allow the batter to kind of call little hit and runs and get a little bit more anticipatory and kind of know where you're going to be, that you'll be around the zone.
It's a story that Steve told during Zach's last start about how they had to teach him how to bounce a curveball.
Well, I think of it because I was good against strike throwers, especially right-handers. So in my experience, like a Jordan Zimmerman, who wouldn't walk anyone, right, I just swing and say I'll figure out on the way there. He's going to get it around the zone somewhere, because he really didn't throw big misses. But sometimes you can throw purposeful balls are good as well.
Well, a lot of people did not hit Jordan Zimmerman very well.
No, I faced him in the minor leagues too. He was around the zone, so I kind of cheat a little bit on him.
Fly ball deep to left field. Back goes Taylor to the warning track. Looks up, and it's out of here. Javier Sanoja with a 2-run homer, his 4th of the year. So Thornton gives a back-to-back hits ahead in the count. Sanoja loses one, and it's 3-0 Miami. Just the 3rd home run that Thornton has allowed in his 6 big league starts. Gave up one to Ozzie Albies his last time out. Now Esteury Ruiz takes outside for ball 1. Ruiz getting his first start in the series. Former American League stolen base champion when he was with Oakland. Stole 67 bases in 2023, and it'll be hard to throw him out. Thornton makes the throw, but it goes down the line, and Ruiz heads for second as Simeon tracks it down. It's a ball that Zach needs to put in his pocket. No chance to get the speedy Ruiz. So it's an infield hit and then an error on Thornton, allowing Ruiz to advance.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, Gary. I don't think there's any chance Zach making that play, and definitely not one way. That looks like he doesn't quite get the greatest grip on it. He's running away from it, and as you can see, Ruiz is already past the bag. Only help Zach could hope for right there is maybe Marcus, who's playing way up the middle, or Carson could come over and keep him off second base. And here's the homer from Javier Sanoja. You got that cutter, which isn't quite a breaking ball, but it's moving into him. Kind of got a little bit of the backspin already built into it, and he hammers it right into the Fiesta deck. Just really covered that pitch that was moving in on him. That would be a situation right there if you're Zach Thornton. You want to get that ball in off the plate chalk, so that if he does swing, it's either a foul ball or poor contact to one of your fielders.
Kind of like what we were talking about before, the ability to command to throw balls when you're ahead in the count.
Because the nice thing about being near the zone is you're going to get batters to want to naturally just kind of anticipate that you're going to be around the zone, and then just show it to them in a spot that they think they want it, and then make it really see if you can get it out of the zone.
So 3 straight hits for the Marlins to start the 2nd inning, and now Griffin Conine, and he pops one up into shallow left, and Taylor comes in under it, and that's the first out of the inning. It is notable, though, that the lefties have been getting some pretty good swings against Thornton. Hicks and Stowers, guys who don't hit lefties very well, and Thornton had been dominating lefties through his first 5 starts.
You mentioned Hicks, base hit, and then Stowers as well, too, drives one in the gap. Conine didn't hit that right on the barrel, but he put a good move on it. Yep. He covered it.
Now here's Otto Lopez, who reached on the leadoff error by Lindor in the 1st inning. Led to an unearned run. Lopez has strafed lefties this year. Came into the day hitting .388 against southpaws. And the curveball stays outside, and it's 2-0. So I got your numbers against Jordan Zimmerman. Do you know them by heart, or do I?
Not by heart. I was okay.
Yeah, you had the most at bats against him of any pitcher that he faced. And 64 at bats, 22 hits, .344 average with 4 home runs.
Okay.
Now, was he still there when you got to Washington?
No, he had gone to Detroit and faced him again against Detroit, against the Tigers. They came to D.C.
Thornton behind 3-0, and Lopez takes cutter for a strike.
And Jordan threw that wonderful game in the postseason that one year. Did he go 9 innings, 8 or 9 innings? The one that went extra innings, I believe he was dealing. Maybe 14 playoffs.
Also threw a no-hitter. Runner goes. The throw to third by Torrens, and he's a dead duck. Esteury Ruiz trying to steal third, and he's the second out. He's not leaving. He's hoping that they challenge the call.
I'll see if Brett Beatty stuck his nose far in enough to make sure he got the tag on him. I've done one of these where I haven't stuck my nose in there long enough, so he gets in there, gets the tag down.
And they are challenging the call. Looks like the right hand might have hit the base before the tag got him on the leg.
Yeah. Might be in there. All right, so I'm starting a 13U team in the fall, and one of the things I want my boys to do is when we take tag plays like this, I'm trying to get them to go down with 2 hands as long as we can. Because I have a play just like this. I think Anthony Rizzo is trying to steal it, and as I take it with 1 hand, I'm kind of moving away from the play a little bit. And so I'm going to encourage our boys. I tell them you don't have to catch it with 2, but you got to go at it with 2 hands as long as you can and try to drive the tag down in on him.
Now Ruiz slid past the bag, and Beatty went back at him, which tells you that Brett knew he didn't have it.
He did give himself away a little bit.
And Ruiz was able to get his hand back on the bag before Beatty re-tagged him. Eddie Fletcher and James Hoyer, the crew chiefs in the replay center. The call in the field was out, and it seems pretty convincing that he was safe, but we'll see what they decide.
Here's the close-up. Just doesn't feel like he gets it quite far enough into his chest before Ruiz gets his hand in.
Yeah, he came off, and Beatty went back after him, but Ruiz got the hand back on.
Yeah, at that point, the die had already been cast for Brett.
And he already is signaling to the dugout to challenge the call, which they did. And now we're awaiting the decision. Play under review brought to you by Citizens. It seemed pretty cut and dried, but I'm not seeing some
call
part
on
of the play
field
that they're confused about.
Clip a button on the way through.
I mean, the swim move at third base has become pretty standard these days.
Yeah, like usually the swim move comes out when you're dead, and so looks safe. Now you're just trying to get out of jail, and so as you go in, you can see the fielder coming to get you, and so you may just try to get out as best the way you can because you're trying to be safe. I've seen guys who will go not just the swim move, but will move their whole body and almost take their feet kind of around as they grab it with the bag. And so at that point, the ball beats him. Is a good throw by Torrens. Ruiz feels like he's dead, but is able to kind of swim by and got to pitch the infield in now. 1 out.
Pablo Lopez, the batter, and he chases up and away for strike 3. So Thornton gets the strikeout he needs with a runner at third, his first strikeout of the day, and that'll allow the infield to drop back for Heriberto Hernandez. So is that something that is coached to do that swim move?
You not really practice it sliding, even though I do think that if I had to do it again, I would practice more sliding. I think to get better at it. So it's more you'll be talking like Mookie Wilson was our base running coach, and so he'll tell you if you pick up the third base coach, not as easy to do on a stolen base, but if you're going first or third and sometimes stolen base, he'll tell you the direction at which you can go to be safest because he'll send you the opposite direction where he sees the ball coming from, and that's where you'll see guys get their bodies kind of wrapped around to stay away from the tag.
2-0 to Hernandez, who grounded out his first time up. For Ruiz's 26th stolen base of the year. He was not played a whole lot, but is 4th in the National League in steals. And Thornton starting to fall behind. He was behind Lopez 3-0, came back to strike him out. Now he's behind Hernandez 3-0. with the left-hand hitter Hicks on deck.
Yeah, lefty on deck. You can pass him. You'll probably get a talking to if he walks him before facing the lefty.
And that's a 4-pitch walk to Hernandez. First walk of the day for Thornton, who's averaged just a shade over 2 walks per 9 innings. I wonder whether it's harder for pitchers to pitch around guys now with such strict pitch counts.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then also at the, I would say at the velocity and the intensity at which they seem to throw all their pitches.
So now Hicks, who shot one through the hole on the left side to drive in the first run of this game. Hernandez at first. He can run a little bit. 7 steals on the year. And Hicks swings and misses at a slider. 0-1. Hicks was able to go on, get a cutter, and poke it through the hole in the left. They're giving him that same hole this time up.
Yeah, I was looking at that, Gary. Would you be able to do that? I wouldn't be able to give him that 5-6 hole again.
Lorenz thought about throwing behind Hernandez. It does not seem as though we see a lot of adjustments in game on infield positioning versus particular batters.
Personally, in my soul, I just don't think I could see another ball dribble through there again and be okay with it. I'd rather get beat up the middle.
Well,
but they have the charts and, you know, where everybody stands. I get it. What is Ben Mays a little bit further in the 5-6 hole right now than Francisco is. I just look at it from an offensive player, like as a hitter, that hole looks like a safety net to me. And so if anything out over the plate, if I just keep it low, I only got to beat one person.
Hernandez runs. You got a huge jump, and so Torrens will hold the ball. Second stolen base of the inning for Miami. Hernandez with his 8th of the year.
Or while we're ball talking, is another question for you. How much would you consider leaving Hernandez there to keep the hole open with the lefty up? You like sending him, or?
I think the advantage of having 2 in scoring position is too great to.
Maybe we just learned something about me. I might have been seeking more base hits than I was team runs than I should have been, because that hole open is a lot more fun to hit with. But yes,
this is really the first time we've seen Thornton struggle in the major leagues. We'll see how he copes with it. There's a good cutter on 3-1 to get a full count on Hicks. 24 pitches in the first inning, 28 already in the second inning for Thornton. Trying to strand 2 in scoring position, already down by 3 runs. And the curveball misses for ball 4, and that'll load him up. So back-to-back walks issued by Thornton. And now Xavier Edwards will bat with the bases loaded.
How many pitches he's thrown? Has anybody gone out there yet? Talk to him?
Yeah, he was out there earlier.
Okay, did I miss it? There we go. Oh, and we had the review as well too to give him a blow.
So now Edwards, who broke his bat, and a little pop up to shortstop his first time up. Big moment in this game for Thornton, trying to stick around. And a pitch clock violation called against Thornton, and that'll put him in the hole right away against Edwards, 1-0. So things starting to unravel for Thornton. And he misses inside to Edwards, and now it's 2-0. This is the first time in his 6 starts that Thornton has ever faced a bases loaded situation. And he got that changeup on the outside corner. Oh, that's a gutsy pitch.
Great pitch. One he doesn't use very often. It's really well located. Almost think he might be able to go back to it.
Edwards, the 8th man up in the inning.
Sometimes in this situation, talking to pitchers, if they can find a pitch that they feel comfortable with, they may lean on that more in this start than they would normally going out there for an outing.
Edwards had taken time out, and I think that the home plate umpire Brock Ballou is saying that he was taking a second time out, which would be an automatic strike. Lane McCullough out to argue the point. Got a young home plate umpire in Brock Ballou. And if that's an automatic strike on Edwards, that would make the count 2-2. The crew chief, Chris Conroy, comes in to join the conversation. Edwards had clearly called time after the last pitch. And then as he was climbing back in the batter's box, I'm not sure whether he was calling time again or whether Ballou felt he was not in there quick enough.
Looking for an extension on his original timeout.
Well, one thing is for sure, the pitch clock rules that are designed to speed the game up right now are flowing it to a crow. Daniel Duarte has gotten up in the Mets bullpen. This will give him plenty of time to be ready if Thornton needs help. So let's see, did they call a strike or not? No indication yet from Ballou. We'd all like to know.
Yeah, I'd like him to, Mr. Ballou, to put his fingers up, let us know what's going on.
What am I supposed to do when I get in the box and I'm not ready? I'm trying to get set. I'm trying to get set.
You hear what Edwards is saying? I was just trying to get set.
All right. Come on, moment of truth.
No indication from Ballou whether he called a strike. The scoreboard still reads 2. Now he says 2-2.
2-2.
Yep. So it was an automatic strike. So pitcher and hitter have each gotten one in this at bat. Now it's 2-2. And he boops one down the right field line, foul. I think that's an area where umpires should be able to communicate the way they do on challenges.
Yes.
To let the world know exactly what's going on. Ruiz at third, Hernandez at second, Hicks at first with 2 down. 2-2 to Edwards. And he lines one to right field, but Benj was playing shallow and he's there to grab it to retire the side. Sanoja's 2-run homer makes it 3-0 Miami. Calling all little pups. The first 5,000 kids 12 and under at the Mets Nationals game August 16th will receive a Paw Patrol backpack. For tickets, go to Mets.com/tickets.
Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol. Be there on the double.
I knew that you'd know because you have small kids.
Sure do.
Yeah.
Paw Patrol is a good flick. It's a good show.
Marcus Semien leading off against Tyler Phillips in the home second. Marcus 1 for 5 in this series, and he lines one into center field for a base hit. So the Mets, who had 2 hits in the first inning against Phillips, get a leadoff single in the second.
Sure do. Get a fastball up and away, and Marcus catches it off the end of the bat, even breaks his bat. You see the chip there, but he's able to get it over the shortstop's head. Ton of space in the outfield to start the inning off with a single. Really like it when you go and your batted balls are getting and playing against the outfield. Even if it's not on the barrel, still got a chance to win out there.
There's Brett Beatty 0 for 5 in this series. And he swings and misses at a first pitch splitter, 0-1.
Is that a new style Brett has with his foot? You see that at all? He kind of got his foot turned in a little bit more than I feel like I've seen.
More Soto-esque?
Yeah, it is. It does look a little bit more Soto-esque. I just haven't seen him quite with that style just yet.
Think, certainly the twitch that he's got going, that's different.
He felt pretty good about that, shaking his head at himself. So a little adjustment. It's nice if you make an adjustment in the cage or in batting practice, you come into the game, take a swing, and you feel good about it. Just at least you feel like you got positive vibes, give you a better chance to swing at a good ball if you feel good about your swing in there.
Liam Hicks having an equipment issue.
This is a cricket match to start with.
Maybe we should have some tea. Don't they usually break for tea in the midst of a cricket match? if you hit it over the fence, that's a 6.
They get 6 points?
6.
They don't look like they try to hit it over the fence, though. Kind of tap it around a little bit.
What's weird about cricket is you can hit it backwards, and it counts just as much as if hitting it forward.
I love it. Think of all those foul balls we hit that we'd get reward for.
I mean, that bat is like, it's so wide. How can you miss? How can you miss?
Like hitting with a door.
All right, Hicks has his equipment figured out. Beatty back in the box with an 0-2 count. Semien at first and nobody out. Tyrone Taylor on deck. Shadows starting to come into play a little bit. It's hazy today, not bright sunshine. And Brett takes that breaking ball. Just missed. 1-2. Yeah, I think this one might take a while.
Just a little bit of a choppy start to it. We just stay out here and enjoy the 86 team. Take as long as you want.
So here's the most important question of the day. As Beatty goes down on strikes, got him with the split, and that's the first strikeout for Phillips. So what do you think, as a ball player who loved wearing the uniform, what do you think of the racing stripes? The 1986
I think these things look awesome. I love them. I love them. I do.
Now,
throwbacks.
You know that the guys I work with who wore those uniforms for real hated the racing stripes.
I wonder, have they said why? I just wondered, was it because of how it felt or just the look of it? Because I could see where, like, they've probably gotten better in the last 40 years. Let's put it that way.
The racing stripes were very much of their era. They were very 80s. The uniform that was awful was the road uniform. They had the light gray with the script New York. Okay. The road block New York uniform is iconic. Tyrone Taylor wearing Murph's number 28. Launches one to deep left field, and that ball's going to sail out of here. Tyrone Taylor's hot streak continues with a monstrous 2-run homer to get the Mets back in it. He's in the best power groove of his career, and Taylor launched that one, his 10th home run, to cut the Marlins lead to 3-2.
Easy power too, Gary. Easy power. Just kind of scoops it out of there for a home run down the line. Never a doubt.
That ball go off the restaurant?
I sure felt like it got up in the second deck there. I mean, he scooped and scored it easy to make it 3-2.
I mean, he's got tremendous power, but you know, he hit only 2 home runs all of last year, and he has hit a stretch now in the last 5 weeks where he has just been a monstrous presence. And not just against lefties. It's this one off a right hand.
Here he gets a fastball running in on him. You could see that 2-seam spin on him. And as a Tyrone just kind of scoops it. That 2-seamer's got a little bit lower spin, so he's able to scoop it out and scoop it off the restaurant, make it 3-2. Like that in real time, to be able to see him take a ball that's moving down and in on him, and to be able to kind of get underneath of it and scoop it high. Hey, Nolan likes it. Sean likes it. Look at that mustache going.
Tyrone Taylor in his first 2 years as a Met hit a total of 9 home runs. Now he's got 10 and only 143 at bats. And there is no question that whatever his trade value was a month ago, it has been enhanced greatly.
Yes, it has. And then you think about how much he's making this year. Play all 3 outfield spots. You feel good about him in center. And it does seem as if the game has gone more left-handed offensively, that right-handed hitters are very much in demand.
That's absolutely true. And so many contenders need right-handed bats. Probably none more than the Phillies. And a ground ball from Torrens out to Lopez. And he throws out Luis for the second out.
And speaking of Tyrone, when you're able to get in a groove like this, and you kind of you find your power stroke, but the more times you're able to feel what it's like to slam a double in the gap, to hit one out of the ballpark like that, you can really kind of groove your stroke, and then you get a better chance to identify which balls am I really doing damage on when I do this, and you can hunt those balls with that swing that you've been hitting the extra bases with.
It just felt for most of the last year and a half before this stretch as though he had so many unfruitful swings, whether it was at fastballs or breaking balls. And now all of a sudden he's just barreling everything.
Yeah, centering it and like with authority. Sometimes you get in a stretch where you're just not making good contact, ground balls, pop-ups. It'll make you feel really defensive in there. But when you feel good, you're on the attack.
Ewing bounces one on the right side. Edwards handles the big hop. And that retires the side, but Tyrone Taylor's 2-run homer gets the Mets right back in, and it's 3-2. We've even got the drone working in the rotunda today. That's an overtime drone. 2 Marlins as we go to the third. Leo Jimenez leads off against Zach Thornton and takes up with away ball 1, and we check in with Steve Gelb. Steve?
Well, Gary, as we continue to celebrate the 40th anniversary of that legendary 1986 team, I'm here with one of the icons of that group, Doc Gooden. Doc, always so great to see you. And, you know, I just wonder, I know you keep in touch with a lot of these guys, but when the whole group gets together again, what is the first thing, the one thing that you guys all start diving back into talking about again?
I think all the bus rides, the plane rides, because people forget about that. Obviously, we had a good team. We spent a lot of time together. We had the chemistry. Go out to eat together, go hang out together. But it's like you don't see each other for like 10, 15 years, but you pick up right where you left off. You talk about the card games, drinking on the plus, and it was just so much fun. It was great to see all those guys and see everybody healthy.
You know, when people talk about your group, yeah, they talk about the big moments and the way that you guys won, but they also talk about the extracurricular stuff. And sometimes I think that makes people overlook certain aspects of that team. For you, what gets lost in the discussion about that unit and that group?
That's a great question, because you're right. They talk about like the party team, this team. Well, what they don't talk about is the knowledge that we had of baseball. The time we spent like on Sundays after day games, we got all the traffic. We're in the clubhouse still talking about baseball. Plane rides, bus rides, we're talking baseball. We love baseball. We love the chemistry. We loved each other. And you don't hear that enough. You know, we have guys on our team that could have been GM. Some of them was coaches, managers, all that, because we love the game. I give a lot of credit to Frank Cashin and Davey Johnson for bringing all the different personalities together. And that's one thing I don't like, because they don't talk about and give us credit for all the knowledge that we had as a baseball team.
Those conversations that you had, especially as the year went on, how do you think that ultimately helped you guys become the team that you became?
I think what it was because we didn't always get along all the time, but we had respect for one another. And if somebody made a mistake or did something that wasn't right, we hold each other accountable. And that's what it's about. And it wasn't personal. We talk about it, and it's gone. We kept everything in the house. And that's what it's about. You know, we made everybody be a man. I mean, you got to be accountable for your actions, and you got to show up to play, or these guys will let you know.
You know, Doc, there are so many great moments from that run, but Game 5, NLCS, you going toe-to-toe with Nolan Ryan. It's almost unfathomable that someone would pitch 10 innings in this day and age. But what do you remember most about that incredible outing?
The thing was like Nolan was my childhood idol. And normally all baseball players are very superstitious. And my thing was every 3 innings I would change my shirt. But when I pitched against Nolan, I never changed my shirt because I was a fan of his, even though I wanted to beat him. So I was watching him pitch, watch his makeup, his mound mannerism and everything, how he went about his business. But to go 10 innings that game because you knew you wasn't going to get much to work with. Like a lot of times, guys say, I'm not worrying about the opposing pitcher. That's a bunch of crap. You know who's pitching against you. You know what you have to do. You know you got no room for error because you're not going to have much to work with. And pitching against Nolan, to me, that was one of the highlights of my career because he was my childhood idol, and now I get to go toe-to-toe with Nolan.
As you look back on that season, aside from the moments everybody talks about, what for you was your favorite moment that year?
I think how everybody came together as a team. And one of the things that also get overlooked, and I tell these guys, and I got to tell a lot of them, like I was talking to Danny Heap today, I have to thank those guys like Danny Heap, Kevin Mitchell, Wally Bateman, Tim Toffel, because those guys could have been starters for other teams. They never complained. They accepted their roles and did what they had to do, put all egos aside for one common goal, and we were able to accomplish that. But that's what stands out more to me than anything because there was no egos. everybody's there from one come and go.
All right, Doc, final thing. I was watching you in the dugout before the ceremony talking to Christian Scott. It seemed like you were really emphatic about something. What was the message you were trying to get across to the young pitcher?
The thing about Scott, I knew him before the injury. He's a great guy. He's a Florida guy. I just told him I'm proud of him. I love the way he pitched. I love the way he goes about his business. And a lot of times we talk about, I said, how do you feel? He said, I feel like I'm locked in. I said, you're definitely locked in, but keep that going. Don't try to do too much. And what I mean by that is, you make a nasty pitch or a great pitch, don't try to make it better, just try to repeat it. Because as pitchers, we try to do too much, or we throw a great pitch, try to make it better. And normally you just squeeze it too tight or you hang it. Stay where you're at, keep working hard, find something that keeps you going. And if he stays healthy, he's going to be seeing him for a long time and fun to watch.
Well, knowing Christian Scott and the way that he appreciates baseball history, I'm sure it was a thrill getting that advice from the great Doc Gooden. Doc, always a thrill talking to you. Enjoy the rest of the day, and thanks so much for the time.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. Let's go Mets.
All right, guys, back to you.
Thanks, Stephen. Thanks, Doc. And I'm glad Doc brought up Frank Cashin, because I think sometimes Frank gets overlooked. They did such an amazing job drafting Gooden, drafting Dykstra, developing them. But the trades for Hernandez, for Darling, for Tuffle, for Ojeda. I mean, there were so many for Sid Fernandez. There were so many guys who came from other organizations who were just the perfect fit for that team.
And you're not going to acquire those players who are the perfect fit for you if you don't have a farm system that is going to be able to get those kind of quality major league players back to your organization.
Sanoja at first with 2 out, 0-2 to Esteury Ruiz, and Thornton picks him off. The throw by Young right on target. Semien with the tag. Sanoja caught stealing. 1-3-4 to end the inning. Juan Francisco Lindor leads off, and as the pitch was being thrown by Tyler Phillips, Esteury Ruiz, the right fielder, was still running out to his position. Oh. That's no good.
Manny Ramirez-esque.
I mean, you're supposed to be ready for the inning to start, but what's the pitcher's responsibility to look around and make sure everybody's in place?
But he's also on the clock, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, so it's like, kind of be paying attention.
Lindor at a base hit to right center his first time up, and he drills this one foul. So Lindor now is hit in 22 straight games against Miami. We mentioned it's the longest ever against the Marlins. We went back and looked for the longest hitting streak against the Mets all time, and it's not much longer. Strike 3 called at the top of the zone to get Lindor. Second strikeout for Phillips. So the longest hitting streak ever against the Mets was 24 games by Matt Holliday.
Oh.
Second on the list, Matty Alou.
Matty Alou? I was wondering if like a Martin Prado or someone might have squeezed into that. But like Matty Holliday, we were never in the same division, so he would have had to stretch that out over a number of years, I feel like.
Mostly during his Rockies days, I would imagine. Here's Bichette lining one right to the second baseman Edwards. Had him played perfectly for the second out. So Matt Holliday, Matty Alou. After that, it's Steve Finley, Gary Templeton, Joe Torre, Jack Clark, Brandon Phillips.
That dude BP on the list?
Brandon Phillips killed the Mets.
Is a story that Tuffle used to tell. Well, I was out there watching Brandon Phillips take batting practice, and he goes, Murph, he goes, watch how Brandon, he goes, he's got style. He goes, but look how he secures the ball first with 2 hands, makes it his, and then he'll express himself. He's kind of like, wrangle that thing first before you try any style. But I loved watching Brandon play.
I would say among opposing players, he's one of my favorite players ever to watch. Yeah. Because he did have style, but he also was a really good player.
Very fundamental, like fundamental within the bounds of this, and then within those rules, go kind of express yourself, show off your skills.
2-0 to Carson Bench, who had a base hit his first time up, and that breaking ball caught the inside corner, even though Hicks didn't catch it.
Caught the umpire.
So the umpire gets hit by the ball and calls it a strike.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen very often.
No, that's modern. That's modern game. That usually gets balled if you get one in the wrist.
It's not rubbing.
What's he looking in there? Oh, that's right. The Marlins call their own pitches from the dugout,
yes,
huh?
They do. They had a little bit of a situation here on.
I saw you guys
Thursday
doing
night.
That. Yeah, they did.
Where the catcher Joe Mack had a little trouble picking up the signs from the dugout, and we're going to get a challenge there by Hicks on the ball 3 call, and it does become a strike, so it's 2-2.
They couldn't get the placards up in time to get it in.
Eventually, the coach in the dugout just signaled curveball.
Oh, there we go. All right.
A little flip of the hand,
shrouded in mystery.
Exactly.
Coming next. There they are. Yeah. I'm talking about tough because I had him as an infield coach. I used to tell Tim, I was like, I need the freedom of movement to move around my position. I go, you're always going to be at least 1 pitch too late.
Yeah, that's strike 3 called. Benj caught looking on a backdoor sweeper. And so Phillips has his first 1-2-3 inning. Still 3-2 Marlins. Fourth inning, 3-2 Miami. Zach Thornton, after a scoreless third, misses inside to Esteury Ruiz, who was at the plate when Javier Sinoja got picked off. First career pickoff for Thornton. That ended the third. And Ruiz turns one foul. And one came into the stands quickly. She had to flinch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Road Ahead presented by Infinity. Final game of the homestand tomorrow. It's a 4-4 on the homestand so far. 1:40 first pitch. And it's Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Atlanta on the 9-game trip that starts Tuesday. With what team here as Ruiz gets hit by the pitch? What team are the Mets going to have on Tuesday when they arrive at Progressive Field? There's just no telling.
Yeah.
Zach will be here. McClain and Scott will be here.
Yep.
Ewing and Benj will be here. Soto will be here, but not playing. Lindor will be here. Clay Holmes, well, Clay's going to pitch for Brooklyn tomorrow. That's the plan. And the reason why makes sense. He is ready to pitch in the big leagues. He's ready to throw 70 or 75 pitches. And tomorrow is his turn. But if he does get traded, then if he doesn't get activated on the big league roster tomorrow, the team that trades for him can keep him on the injured list and have him make another rehab start.
Roster flexibility.
Right, if they so desire.
And Andy,
that's lined into center field. Coming on is Ewing, and it'll drop for a base hit. Ruiz stopped at second. Ewing's throw goes to third, not in time. And Conine holds at first with a base hit. Ruiz was running on the pitch, stopped at second, thinking Ewing might be able to catch it, and then continued on.
Yeah, the base hit from Conine right up the middle, left on left. You can see Ruiz taking off. Difficult position to be in as a base runner right here. As he takes off, he doesn't know where the ball is. Finds it, fortunately. I tell our 13-year-olds, if you end up running like this and they hit a line drive, you're probably better off just going ahead and going. If you get in that situation like Ruiz was, pick up your third base coach. Now, he was able to find the ball and figure out where it was in center. When in doubt, find the third base coach, and he was able to do a really nice job of going and finishing at first or third.
So the 8 and 9 hitters get aboard. First and third, nobody out for Otto Lopez, and he flies one out to right center. That should get the run in. Benj goes back to get it. Ruiz tags at third. He'll come in. The throw goes to second. Sacrifice fly for Lopez makes it 4-2 Miami.
Here's Francisco saying he's got a double play coming, 4-6-3. Ruiz doesn't believe him.
Yeah, he didn't buy it.
Yeah. Oh, the kiss. Fair play.
Don't try that on me.
That's when they come by the next time on a double play. You go low and run one right up their buttons. Take that kiss.
Yeah, that doesn't really happen anymore, does it? Grounded toward the hole. Lindor on the backhand. The throw to second in time to get the force. Nicely done by Lindor. He knew he didn't have a fast man running from first and had the time to get Conine for the second out.
Yeah, really able to get this on the back end. Watch his shoulders really fly. Watch his shoulders turn hard, and that's going to sling the ball into position. You can see Marcus Semien turning into a first baseman, knowing he's not going to be able to turn a 6-4-3 double play for the second out of the inning.
Lindor got that ball right in the webbing after having one flip out early in the game. I wonder sometimes, you know, Lindor is a guy who uses gloves right out of the box new every day. And I know they say the gloves are more broken in now than they have been in the past. I wonder.
Yeah. What I would say is it's not my style, but I also don't have Francisco's hands as well either. But I needed to break my glove in a little bit. I actually wanted mine a little bit floppy, to be honest with you, and hopefully the ball would stick in there. But yeah, I've noticed that he does like to bust a glove out of the box and get it into play.
Well, he's got a tremendous sense of style with the gloves. And, you know, the only other guy I know who did that was Ray Ordonez, who was a magician with the glove in his own right. He would break out a new glove every week right out of the box. But his hands were so incredibly strong, he made it work.
You give him a milk carton, and he'll secure it.
Liam Hicks has a single and a walk. He's driven in a run. Thornton, after picking up his first career pickoff in the last inning, keeping Hernandez close. Hernandez stole a base in the second. Marlins have already attempted 3 stolen bases in this game. They're 2 out of 3. Now, that is a big part of their game. And now a second throw over. So we'll see whether Hernandez takes some more liberties. Third throw over, if you don't get an out, is an automatic balk.
The Marlins run in the minor leagues as well too. I know a hitting coach for the Twins, and the Marlins will come up and tell them, it's like, we run at any time in the game, in any score. They use it for development.
Hicks breaks his bat, bounces one out to Lindor. That retires the side. Marlins tack on a run and lead at 4-2 in the 4th. Baseball on SNY is brought to you by Jake's 58, where Long Island wins. By Ford, the official truck of the Mets. Test drive their amazing lineup at your local Ford stores. And by Heineken, proud partner of the New York Mets. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
What is their
That
record?
was some rotation. Gooden, Darling, Fernandez, Ojeda.
There we go.
We go to the bottom of the 4th inning, and Steve's got another guest.
Sure do. It's our old pal. It's Bobby O. Bobby Ojeda. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm very good.
You know, it's listen, it's always great to see you, but especially on a day like today. I mean, I've seen how you're interacting with everybody. I'm sure you keep in touch with a lot of the guys, but is there anybody that you hadn't seen in a while that, oh, wow, great to reconnect?
I'll tell you what. It's an excellent point. You don't see guys, but you hear about guys. When you hear about guys who are not doing good, you're like, oh, man. And then you see them, and they're doing much better. It makes you feel good. And for me, Ray Knight. Yeah. He's had some problems, had some issues. One of the best guys you'll ever meet, but he was doing much better. And he's optimistic. So I love that. That makes me feel good.
Bobby, you came over here in a trade right before that '86 season. What was the point for you where you realized this team is different? This team is something special.
I watched them in spring. I don't talk much except when I get paid. I came over, I watched a lot, and, I was getting a vibe. I didn't say anything in spring training. Then the season started. When it clicked for me was we had a pitcher's dinner in Pittsburgh in 1902. It's not there no more. And it was all the pitchers and catchers and some of the coaches. And I'm sitting there with these guys, and we're having a couple of adult beverages and eating. And, oh, nice play. And it was like a switch. Everybody bonded. And I came out of my shell. And then when you're winning, that makes that really easy. And then we just went on just tear. So people think you want to develop chemistry. No, you don't. You want to sign good ball players, and you want to win. Guess what develops chemistry?
Winning. Yeah, I cut you off, winning. But you talk about that staff, and it was such a great staff. When you have those conversations, what did you? I'm sure everybody learned from everybody else. What did you pick up from those other guys?
Well, you make the excellent point. We had a couple righties, a couple lefties, and everybody was different. Doc was on another planet. Other than that, the rest of us were all in the same bowl. But we would learn from watching how you got him out. And then, not that day, but the next day. So what do you think of this? What do you think he was thinking about? What do you think he was doing? Were you going to face them the next day? And that was all that on the ground internal knowledge, and we would use that with each other because it was that was the first and last team I've ever been on that was we, not me. And we fed off each other. All the pitchers, and you got one in the booth, we used to feed off each other and challenge each other, not compete against, but challenge each other, and at the same time try to help each other get the other guy out.
You know, everybody always remembers the end of Game 6 of the World Series, but you were at the beginning of Game 6 of the World Series, starting that game. And I remember you and I have had conversations about this, but people didn't realize just how hurt you were going into that start. Like can you describe how injured you were, how your arm was feeling, and how were you able to get through it and succeed the way that you did?
Well, I hate to be a baby, but I was a baby, and I was crying a lot internally. But everybody's hurt at the end of the year. Everybody's hurt. It's just the nature of this business. I had an injury, a bad injury that I'd been dealing with the whole year, but I had very good chemicals. I had some shots, and I got through it. You get through it I'll tell you how you get through it, if you want to get through it. If you want to lay down and roll over and let that defeat you, you do that. But we had a lot of guys who played banged up, but you would go out there, and being a pitcher, there's nowhere to hide. So for me, it was extremely challenging, but I'll tell you this, they always say, well, you played against Boston, the team you were at, and yeah, that drove me, because I had a lot of hatred. I still do to them. A lot of anger and hatred. That drove me.
Yeah, that doesn't shock me at all. Bobby O, so great to see you. We're through 4 innings here. We'll send a text to you guys, and we'll see you after this.
Xavier Edwards leading off the 5th inning against Zach Thornton, who's going to be pushed a little farther in this game than he has been. Hasn't thrown more than 82 pitches in any of his big league starts. This will be his 83rd. And Edwards pops it up on the right side. Simeon has the angle and puts it away, 1 out. This has not been the easiest start for Zach. Started out with an error in the 1st inning that led to an unearned run. He gave up a 2-run homer to Sanoja in the 2nd, but he has persevered into this 5th inning. And Daniel Duarte, who was up in the 2nd inning, is up again.
I think it's a great time to stretch out Thornton now, see if he can get deeper into his pitch count than he ever has before. Now he's able to get strike 1. Like these are the type of development opportunities you'll have when you're not in the race the way you want to. And so, hopefully Zach can go out there and see if he can finish this inning.
Hey, Murph, one thing we've heard from a lot of the 86 guys today, and we've heard it from them over the years, is how much they sat around and talked baseball. And I'm wondering how much that changed during your career, if at all, and how much it has changed since your career.
Yeah, I mean, listening to Doc talk and Bobby O, like they're trying to figure out, like, how did you get this guy out, because I'm going to face him tomorrow or next week. Like, how can we go in there and beat this team? I would say that the ball talk changed a little bit as I got into the league. Like I grew up on Carlos Delgado and Carlos Beltran, and it was runner on second base with nobody out. Like, how are you going to get him to third base? If you score him, all the better, but he has to get to third. And then I think as I went and played in 2023 with the Angels, and it got to be more the ball talk, as we have an ABS challenge here from Torrens.
Strike 3.
And being in Salt Lake City, it wasn't that the guys were talking wrong baseball, it just had changed. And it was more the pitchers were talking about, my ball was spinning this way, it was performing like this out of my hand. And then the batters knew more specifically, like, I hit this ball at 105, so in theory over the course of time I'm going to get paid out for that. Whereas I was hunting for base hits. Like, that's all I really thought about. If I hit it at 80 miles an hour or 50, it didn't matter if I was able to find some space out there.
There's no question that the modern player is more attuned to his specific attributes and what makes him successful. The question I would have is, does it change the team dynamic to have everybody more focused on what they're able to do to help the team, or does that enhance the team?
I think that it ends up being the choice of how do you want to take this information and knowing what you're best at and how to get there, and then you fold it into and understand that it's a part of this team concept that we're trying to produce runs, we're trying to prevent runs. So, you know, you're the type of person that knows that if you're spinning your cutter like this, you're going to be good. It's like, okay, well, today go and do it. But if you don't have that, maybe you talk to a teammate and see, okay, this is where you can go in this part of the lineup in a pinch. Like, that's the stuff I love. I feel like pitchers is like, there are soft spots in the lineup. There are parts of the lineup that are better matchup for you as a pitcher than other parts of the lineup. Platoon advantage, and veterans can have you start looking towards that as like, where do I need to go to get a strikeout or a ground ball?
And do you think those conversations still happen?
I do think they happen. I think that it's also but bound within like the better understanding and more specific understanding of their own individual kind of performance.
3-2 to Kyle Stowers, and it's outside ball 4. So Thornton issues his third walk of the day, and I think that's going to be the end of the line for him. They left him in to face the left-hand hitter, but Andy Green is on his way out to the mound, and so Thornton, who's thrown 94 pitches, 12 more than he has in any other outing in the big leagues, will exit, and Daniel Duarte will come in. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Nissan. Shop NissanUSA.com.
And so it was over. The Mets were world champions. They had turned their silver anniversary into a series of golden moments. As it had all season, the Mets' character came through in the end and took them to the top in a year to remember.
Mets memories presented by Prevagen. I want to know if Ronnie still has that leather jacket.
Just seeing that, and it's to be here and see them recognized again after 40 years. Like, it is so hard to win a championship, and you see Ronnie hanging out the window, Gary's coming down. It just, man, hats off to the team in 1986. What a wonderful season.
So we live in a little bubble here, and sometimes the bubble gets pierced. And our stat guy Dave Freed just knocked down our entire set. You see all these wires here? You're not supposed to see that. This is supposed to be up in front of it. But Dave knocked it right off the wall.
We're going to have to put
and the
Gary.
entire set is now falling down on top of Dave. He's holding on for dear life to keep us.
You're going to have to do the show where you like go in between there, like the old school like silent movie style. Where it falls down. You need some help, Dave?
Daniel Duarte, who has been magnificent since joining the Mets. The Mexican right-hander comes in with 2 out and a runner at first, and Sanoja pops one up. Might be playable for Young, and he's got enough room to grab it, and so Duarte gets the 3rd out. Dave, put the set back together. Tyrone Taylor leads off for the Mets in the bottom of the 5th, and he grounds one to 3rd, handled there by Jimenez. And a high throw, but Stowers stayed on the bag. 1 pitch and 1 out for Tyler Phillips. Well, you can only imagine what's been going on in the booth since we last left you after the last half inning. This is what happened initially. Dave's coming back from the press room with a drink, and he knocks the panel off. But it's not enough that he knocked the panel off. He knocked the entire set down. And Al, our cameraman, had to come in to try to fix it, but Al has to run the camera. So now Dave, our audio guy, is holding up the wall. I mean, Dave's got the drink in his hand. He won't put the drink down because he's afraid it's going to spill on my computer, which he's done before, by the way.
You said put the drink down like you've run into that drink before.
So Dave has got control of the wall now. Dave, the other Dave, is still in limbo behind us, holding his drink forlornly. Al's back on camera. Ground ball past the mound. Edwards coming to the other side of the bag to throw out Torrens. And Tyler Phillips, after the home run by Tyrone Taylor, has now retired 10 in a row. So Al's on camera. Dave Ornstein is on wall patrol. Dave Freed is still holding his drink. Oh, you're going to go back in now? Oh, sure. Just don't spill.
Careful. Nobody puts baby in the corner.
Dave lives in the corner. Now A.J. Ewing with 2 out. How's it going over there? He says, not good. I have to hold the wall up. You think you can do your job at the same time you're holding the wall up? Did you put the drink down, Dave? He put the drink down. See, the drink is down.
It's got protection on it. It's got the nope. Now the lid's off.
See, he's got the chair wedged up against the wall so it won't fall on top of him. I mean, Murph, this is the booth they gave us when they opened the ballpark in 2009. It really hasn't changed at all.
Advanced operation. We'll wedge that thing in with a chair.
Well, I'm told that our operations people are sprinting toward the booth as we speak to try and ameliorate the issue. You can see how fast they sprint. Ewing is flied out and grounded out 0 for 2. And he hits one toward the hole, and he's got himself a base hit. So after Phillips had retired 10 in a row, Ewing with a 2-out single, and Lindor will come up as the tying run.
Yeah, fastball into Ewing. He's able to shoot it through the 3-4 hole. Good short swing, able to cut that ball off as it moves close to him. You can see it leaking back. It catches a little bit more plate than Phillips would prefer. It's one of the first times I've seen him kind of throw that front hip sinker, and very impressed by A.J. Ewing to be ready for that. He wouldn't have seen a lot of those in the minor leagues, so to be able to be ready for that front hip sinker.
So here's Lindor, who's singled and struck out. The Marlins have their bullpen cranking.
Would you look to run Ewing right here? You let Francisco hit.
Down by 2 runs with Lindor as hot as he is.
Yeah, me too. Let him tie it up. That's what I'd let him try to do. At least still 2 strikes.
Got a sweeper there by Phillips, and it's a ball and a strike.
Part of the reason I ask is I feel like I saw the Yankees or a game the other day, 1st and 3rd with, I think, go ahead run at 3rd, and they ran him to 2nd. It seems like a popular move to get that runner into scoring position. I do like leaving the hole open.
Grounded down to 1st and handled by Stowers, and that retires the side. So Phillips gets through 5 with the lead, 4-2 Marlins. As we start the 6th, Daniel Duarte, who got the last out in the 5th, stays on to face Esteury Ruiz. He takes up and away, and Steve Gilbs has another guest.
You know, Gary, we can't talk about the 40th anniversary of 1986 without talking to the World Series MVP. It's so great to see Ray Knight again. Ray, you know, everybody talks about how hard-nosed that team was. Nobody on that team was more hard-nosed than you, though. So how would you represent and talk about what that team was? How would you describe it?
Just battlers. Everybody in that starting lineup, and a lot of guys on the bench, they just played so hard, and it was just a group of men with like desires and like attitudes, and just it built every year. And it got to a point where we knew it might not be 84. We knew that we were going to be really special if we didn't lose Doc or we didn't have Darryl or somebody to mess up. Then when they acquired Gary, and of course Keith was already there, and they'd gotten me in 84, and then they just kept adding young pitchers as they blossomed and they matured, and all of a sudden you've got a rotation with 2 outstanding left-handers and 4 people that threw the ball totally different, with different type of fastballs, different type of movement, different types of breaking balls, and very difficult to handle. A lot of pitching staffs, you have people that are same. Velocity, 96, 95. Movement, a little movement away. Curveballs, that type of curveball. We didn't have anybody who threw the ball the same. And all of them threw strikes. And then you get to our bullpen, and I'm just going to mention Jesse and Roger McDowell. Those guys were just filthy.
every day. Nobody had a better sinker than Roger. And then Jesse had that just put away slider. And they loved being in that situation. They wanted the ball. They wanted pressure. And the hitters, ninth inning, 2 outs, runner on second base, tie game. You wanted to be up there. So it proved out.
Sure did. And by the way, a bomb from Griffin Conine, solo shot, so it's 5-2 Marlins now. But, you talk about that pressure and thriving under it. And certainly, there was no more pressure-packed spot than Game 6 in that World Series where you guys come from behind. You scored the game-winning run. And I know that it's been talked about ad nauseum. So the question that I want to ask you is, do you remember what the emotions were like, what the moment felt like as you touched home plate and recognized that you did it and you've got this bedlam going on around you?
It actually hit me about 15 feet from home plate. And I looked and I saw that ball going into right field. And, man, I always say it was like a magic carpet ride. I've never had a magic carpet ride. But it was just so much emotion, and I was tingling, and I never had that feeling. The next night or 2 nights later, I had a home run that ended up being the deciding run. It was not even close to that. I don't know if it was because we're sitting over there, we're down 2 runs, we have 2 outs, we have 2 strikes, we have 2 strikes, we have 2 strikes, and somehow we win. And maybe, and I've tried to figure it out, maybe it was just in our minds we believed that we could win. But in our reality check, this ain't gonna happen. And they can say what they want to say. You get 2 outs and 2 runs down, you're gonna win 95% of those games. But you got a spark. Gary gave us a spark. Mitch, he struck the match too. And me, one of the worst swings I ever took in my career. But he tried to throw me a fastball down and in, and I'm looking away with 2 strikes. I'm just not going to strike out. And I just cut the ball off. And thing just floats out there about 130 feet, base hit. But I surely wasn't measuring it. I thought it was the best hit I ever got.
The exit velocity doesn't matter in that situation at all. Ray, last thing, we talk about the moments and that team. So what is it like when, after all this time, I know you guys haven't really been together since probably the 30th reunion. What's it like to get back together with that group again?
Awesome. I love those guys. They love me. We love each other. And, it goes from top to bottom, from your best player to the worst player, although there weren't any worse players on that team. And it's just, we hug. And, I had 4 or 5 guys that give me a kiss on the cheek. I kissed a couple of guys on the cheek. People think what they want to think. I don't give a flip, but I do know one thing. I like going to war with those men. And we had so many things to happen that season. And the biggest part of that was winning. We just won and won and won and won. And that they will. They're going to win. And because they believe it, they've worked hard their whole careers to do it. They've established an attitude, and that attitude is, you're not going to beat us. And so a lot of good things happen when you do that, right?
100%. Nobody did beat you guys, as Otto Lopez has a double here with 1 out in the 6th. Ray Knight, MVP in 1986. So great to see you.
I appreciate it, my man.
All right, guys, back to you.
What Ray did was hit .391 in the World Series, drove in 5 runs, including that 7th game home run.
Here's the double from Lopez, and then I want to come back to Ray. He gets a breaking ball in the middle of the plate and slams it in the left field corner. One of the things Ray said right there about his at-bat in Game 6 was, I wasn't going to strike out. Now, you have to know, if he hits a homer there, he ends it, if I'm not mistaken, right? He would have been a 3-run homer, ends it, they're down 2, but he had decided, I'm not going to strike out in this moment.
Well, there's no question he got jammed, but he looped one into center field,
touched
and
it.
the rest was history. And FCC, we apologize.
That's all right. We're here to celebrate 86. They're getting down. We just getting warmed up, Gary.
Meanwhile, Daniel Duarte has given up a run for the first time as a Met, his 8th appearance. Slowly hit to third. Beatty on the charge, gets rid of it. Breaking for third now is Lopez, and he makes it safely. Beatty hurrying in, didn't have a chance to check the runner, and so Lopez made his break on the throw, and he gets to third with 2 out.
Good play by Brett. It's not an easy one. The last hop kind of skims across the bottom of the ground, so he has to stay real nice and low with it to make sure he catches it. Those ones can slide under your glove.
Duarte had gone 11 1/3 innings, no runs, 4 hits in his first 7 appearances for the Mets. He's given up the home run to Conine and now a double to Lopez here in the 6th. Yesterday it was Xavier Curry who took the ball in the 5th inning and finished the game, going 5 scoreless, or not 5 scoreless, but 5 effective innings, and got rewarded with a trip back to Syracuse. The batter is challenging. Hicks thought it was a ball, and it was. So that turns 1-1 into 2-0. ABS powered by T-Mobile. Hicks had an RBI single in the first. Since then he's walked and grounded out, 1 for 2. Marlins 5 runs, 8 hits. The Mets 2 runs and 5 hits. We're in the 6th. And now 3-0. Zach Thornton went 4 2/3, allowed 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, a hit by pitch, a home run. Should say it was 4 runs, 3 earned. Lost a run there somewhere. Two wrapped up in 86. And Hicks pulls one into right for a base hit, and that'll drive in another run. Second hit, second RBI of the day for Liam Hicks, and it's 6-2 Miami.
Yeah, Liam gets a 3-1 heater. You see right here, gets a barrel out front, hooks it in the 3-4 hole. Yeah, just hit too hard for any of the infielders to have a chance at it. Perfectly placed. Duarte's able to get the ground ball, but it's hit too hard as it's a middle of the plate fastball 3-1, and he's able to really hammer it into right field for the RBI single.
So 2 runs home of the inning. Now Xavier Edwards is 0 for 3 on the day. Marlins have scored in 4 of the 6 innings so far. Bluffing a bunt and takes one to his feet for ball 1. This one's popped up in his shallow left. Taylor coming on. And puts it away to retire the side, but the Marlins tack on a pair and lead at 6-2 in the 6th. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning at Citi Field. Mets down 6-2. Bo Bichette will lead off against Tyler Phillips, who has thrown just 63 pitches through 5 innings. Bichette takes first pitch splitter down, and we'll get a challenge from Liam Hicks, the catcher. And ball 1 becomes strike 1.
Ball's overturned. Miami retained.
Bichette is 0 for 2 today, 2 for 10 in the series. He's got the C flap in front of his jaw, and he rips one into left field for a base hit. Chased toward the line by Hernandez, and Bichette will stop at first with a leadoff single. And I mentioned the C flap because last night, after making an out earlier in the game. In the 5th, he slammed his helmet down, broke the C-flap, and the next time he came up in the 7th inning, he had
a C-flapless helmet.
He was C-.
He just looks, yeah, what is that? Is that like what is that, like a plastic underneath it there? Yes. Yeah. Some buttons.
Going to get a pitching change. Phillips is out after 5 innings plus. John King, the lefty, will come in. 6-2 Miami. We'll be right back. Pitching change for the Marlins. They'll bring in the left-hander John King to face Carson Bench. First time Bench faced King this year. He hit a home run. So King back for some more. Carson's had a good series. 1 for 2 today. 5 for 10 in the 3 games. Bichette at first and nobody out. Phillips out after 5 innings plus, and a first pitch breaking ball misses inside for ball 1. We've talked a lot about Carson covering the high pitch.
Yeah, you can see right here just how hot he is. You got the red streaks right there hitting almost 450 at the top of the zone, and then there in the middle. The thing about the ball up is if you can center it, it's much easier to get over the infielders.
He loops that one behind short, and back goes Lopez to make a nice running catch for the first out.
But like not too dissimilar from that one, that ball looked like he was up in the zone. Even miss hits can get to the outfield. Yeah, that one was up and in, but you can see that even though he is a great play by the shortstop, even though Carson's unable to get a hit on this one, his misses get the ball over the infielders to the outfields. Even as it's up in the zone a little bit, it's still got the trajectory that's really helpful for getting base hits, even if you don't hit it very hard.
So 1 out and 1 on. Jared Young. And he takes inside. Young drove one deep to right field that got Sanoha turned around, but he was able to make the play in the 4th inning.
Really good play by Sanoha out there. Who were we talking to at that time? I forget which 86 Met we had on when that would be. He went after that ball.
You know, there hasn't been a lot of flow tonight. You know, we've had a lot of challenges.
Yes.
We've had equipment failures. We had a little argument about a potential pitch clock violation. We've had interviews. We've had the
yard sale
fall down. It's been adventurous.
The expletives have been flying.
Well,
I mean,
yeah. Fortunately, not from us.
Well, that's all right.
Because we might get in trouble for it.
They're the heroes. They can send it.
Ground ball toward the middle of the diamond. Edwards with the backhand glove flip, and the double play is turned to end the inning. Beautifully done by the Marlins infield. Edwards to Lopez and on to Stowers through 6. Your All-State Good Hands replay. Beautifully turned double play by the Marlins.
That's really well done. I've noticed with the Marlins, it seems like they get the ball in the air a little quicker, but they're really good about staying in and making sure they have it in their glove first. So that one, the second baseman, he took it. Edwards had it and then flipped it with his glove and still had enough time for the double play.
If you ever wondered what the lights look like up close, that's what they look like. Courtesy of the drone cam. Jonathan Pintaro will make his first appearance for the Mets since late June. Leo Jimenez, the scheduled hitter, but Jacob Marcy pinch hits and grounds one foul. Pintaro has been in 5 games for the Mets this year. He was recalled yesterday with Cianel Perez going on the injured list and A.J. Minter being traded. And quickly ahead on Marcy 0-2. Marcy started the first 2 games of the series, homered on Thursday and had an RBI double in the game last night. Sitting today against the lefty, but he's been the regular center fielder for the Marlins. Struggling for most of this year after an excellent rookie season last year. And Pintaro misses upstairs with his cutter.
Oh, hooked one in the 3-4 hole, and he turns into a hustle double.
And the fastball on the outside corner. Pintaro has a strikeout, and Marcy's going to challenge it.
He ain't gonna like it.
Yet another challenge. Don't think he's going to win this, is he?
Nah, he's been on the bench too long today. He ain't gonna like this.
It is most definitively a strike, and so Pintaro has his strikeout, and Marcy has only a trudge back to the dugout. Still 1 out and nobody on for the 28-year-old Jonathan Pintaro from Shorter University.
Oh, that's in Georgia. I knew. Yes, I had a family friend that played at Shorter.
D2 school. Zach Thornton started, went 4 2/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. You'll see Pintaro's numbers. Thornton's ERA went up, but still a very impressive 2.88 through his first 6 big league starts. Daniel Duarte gave up runs for the first time as a Met, an inning in the 3rd, 2 runs, 3 hits. And now Pintaro working the 7th. Kyle Stowers is 1 for 2 and a walk. Singled and scored back in the 2nd. And takes it up and away, 2-1. Drones can shoot clouds too. That cutter is quite a weapon for Pintaro. Throws it hard. And he throws it up in the zone.
Yeah, that with the way the cutter kind of spins, it just will skip on you as a hitter, especially left-handers, as it gets close to you. At the same time, it looks like the 2-seam sinker he throws has almost got some sail to it, so he kind of can get to both sides of the plate with some real movement. When I talk about skipping, it's like the ball's got finish at the top. Oof, like that.
There's the fastball up in the zone to get Stowers, so back-to-back strikeouts for Pintaro, 2 down.
And you can see Pintaro coming through, and you see how the ball almost stays, like it really finishes where it starts. Like he stops it, starts it at the top of the zone, forgive me, and just is able to just finish it, and it has real life through the zone. As a batter, I felt like that ball kind of skipped on me, almost like at the point my eyes said it was going to come down a little bit into my barrel. It didn't. You could see like that one with the cutter, it just stays right there on that same level. Almost like if you started in the 2nd floor, it would just stay on the 2nd floor of the house. Whereas the breaking balls, when you see the ball come out with that sort of spin, you have a tendency to think that it's almost going to drop levels just a little bit.
So when we talk about induced vertical break,
okay, that's the fancy way of saying it.
What we're
I used to say get on top of it, old school style.
Well, the old school terminology used to be rising fastball,
yes.
which is a physical impossibility because gravity does tend to lower the ball as it travels to the plate. But if you can negate some of the gravity That's what they call induced vertical break.
Without a doubt. And then as the batter, it's much about how the batter perceives your ball as well too. So everybody else that throws the ball the way Pintaro throws it, it comes down a little bit, but his keeps staying and keeps finishing, keeps having that induced vertical break.
See, we moved you into the analytical world. Here comes Benj
to
catch the pop-up. 1-2-3 inning for Pintaro. Stretch time, F down 4. Well, we've been enjoying the Toyota drone cam today. It's given us great shots from all around Citi Field on this celebratory Saturday, honoring the 1986 Mets on their 40th anniversary of their great accomplishment. Oh, look at that city in the background. Blake Bacher in for his second appearance of the series at a 1-2-3 inning on Thursday night with 3 ground balls. Marcus Semien leads off the home 7th and takes a slider on the outside corner. Changes defensively. Jacob Marcy stays in center. Esteury Ruiz moves to right, and Javier Sanoja moves to third. Semien's 1 for 2. Singleton scored in the second. Beatty and Taylor to follow. Tyler Phillips went the first 5 innings plus for Miami. 2 runs, 6 hits, no walks, 3 strikeouts. John King faced 2 batters, got 3 outs, and now Bacher in the 7th. Hit hard to third. Sanoja stepped to his left. Guns down Semien, 1 away. Battle of first place teams in the American League this afternoon. The Rays and the White Sox in Tampa Bay won it 1-0 behind Drew Rasmussen. The Rays' run prevention lately has been extraordinary. I think that is 21 runs now in their last 11 games allowed.
Makes it easy on your offense. You just need a couple base hits. Give that over to your pitchers.
The Rays have been an extraordinary franchise for a long time. Now 20 games over 500, leading the American League East. The White Sox went into the day with a 3-game lead in the Central, their largest division lead in 5 years. Of course, they've come from the depths the last couple of years after losing 121 games, and now find themselves sitting in first place and doing it with some really talented young players. Mets will be going to Chicago to play the White Sox later this month. Colson Montgomery is not only playing a good shortstop, but hitting home runs at a pace faster than any other shortstop in the game. Taka Murakami has come back from the injured list, and he's hot again. There's a good slider by Bacher, and he gets Beatty for the second out. So 2 out and nobody on. Tyrone Taylor is responsible for the 2 Met runs today. Hit a 2-run homer in the second. Your Spectrum high-speed hitting. 7 home runs in his last 39 at-bats. An incredibly hot pace for Tyrone. Grounded out his last time up. And he rolls one to the right side. Edwards scurries over, and Bacher's got himself a 1-2-3 bottom of the 7th. On to the 8th, 6-2 Miami. Now Gary was here for the pregame show, dressed all casual, and now he's back in the studio and he's back in this shirt and tie.
Yeah, I got a chance to see him in the I guess in the conference room where they do the interviews. You got a chance to talk a little baseball with him. He said the other times that they have come out here, I think 3 or 4 times, they get rained on and it gets pulled down when they go to do at least the pregame outside, because they were just on the field right down the first baseline.
Are they not allowed to do the show in the rain?
Oh, I'm certain they're allowed to. It can be done. We have to play in it. We poking them a little bit right now.
I mean, if you're wearing a headset which has all sorts of electronic equipment in it, maybe there's some fear about what happens if you get it wet.
We don't have any cameramen out here that are open to the elements, do we?
Well, yes, we do, but they know how to dress for the occasion, and their cameras are
not on their
well
head,
suited to outdoor use. Esteury Ruiz leading off in the 8th inning against Jonathan Bintaro, and he takes a strike, 3-1. Ruiz has been on base twice, an infield hit and a hit by pitch. He has a steal. He has a run scored. And there's a strike with the cutter, and it's 3-2. Hey, you see us in first place in the AL West, the Houston Astros, after being buried a month and a half ago. They beat the Rangers last night.
That's their record.
They got them
barely 500.
One game over 500, but that's good enough for first place.
The junior circuit is just okay this year.
Rolled out toward the bag. Lindor had it stick in his glove, and the scoop by Young not in time, and Ruiz beats it out. Well, Lindor had to get rid of it quickly, but he couldn't because he had to reach in the glove a second time.
Right, he definitely had to go fast. It gets a traveling call on him a little bit right here as he's unable to get the handle. Gets a lot of help here at the end from Jared Young to be able to help him out, try to get it. Again, I probably preface this by saying I wasn't much of a defender. If I were to give Lindor a little bit of advice on that one, if you can go at it longer with two, you're going to need to make the transfer anyway. The further away your throwing hand is, sometimes you can just bobble it a little bit as you're going to get it into your throwing hand. Easy for me to say up here in the booth, but that's what I'll be teaching our 13-year-olds this fall. Go at it with two.
That one gets scored a base hit. Lindor was charged with an error earlier in the game. Now you got a base stealer and Ruiz aboard. And Conine takes it outside. Griffin Conine hit a home run in the 6th inning against Daniel Duarte, his 10th of the year. One of 2 home runs for the Marlins today, all coming from the lower third of the batting order. In fact, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the Marlins have 6 of their 10 hits. Ruiz has stolen 1 base today, 26 for the year. He takes a huge lead. And then gets flat-footed as Pintaro used the pitch clock to his advantage and gets a fastball in for a strike. Conine is challenging the strike call.
Wrong, Griffin. That'll be y'all's last one.
And now the Marlins are done with challenges for the day.
It's an interesting spot to use it.
Ruiz again stretches his lead. Not going, and it's up and away. 3-1 to Conine. And a throw to first, and just back is Ruiz. Very close play.
We'll get the skipper's hand up right here. Ooh, the throw kind of takes it into the line a little bit. No, he's back safely. Looked better than it in real time. It looked better than it was. And Taro has an interesting pickoff move. He kind of drops down sidearm a little bit on it.
Ruiz takes an even bigger lead, not going. And the pitch is high for ball 4, and he'll get to second base that way. So an infield hit and a walk to start the 8th inning after Pintaro worked a 1-2-3-7. So Sanoja, Ruiz, and Conine, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters, have reached base safely 8 times in this game. Here's Otto Lopez. He has a double and a sacrifice fly today. Marlins 6 runs and 10 hits. The Mets 2 runs and 6 hits. We're in the 8th. And Lopez takes fastball strike. I wonder if an umpire knows that a team is out of challenges. Do you think he's more likely to expand the strike zone?
I wouldn't say expand, but doesn't need to second guess himself for very long.
Line to second, caught by Simeon, and back safely is Ruiz. Good base running by Esteury Ruiz.
Okay, you can see this one right back in your living room. Simeon, good cover in a second by Lindor, trying to get the double play. A really nice swing by Lopez, just couldn't get it over the first line of defense.
Well, Lopez now 1 for 12 in this series. Mets have done that well. So the guys at the bottom of the order they have not controlled. Here's Heriberto Hernandez, is 0 for 3, and he chases a high fastball. Hernandez hit the ball on the ground 3 times. This is a Marlins team that hits a lot of ground balls. They don't chase much. But they are vulnerable to the double play because they hit a lot of balls on the ground. Now, that's negated somewhat by the fact that they have a lot of team speed.
That and then stealing second will help get you out of the double play situation as well.
Ruiz has stolen third once already today. Pintaro gives him a look.
He was listening to you, Gary.
Kevin Herget, just recalled today, is up in the Mets bullpen. He took Xavier Curry's spot. Herget, a New Jersey native. And a swing and a miss, and Hernandez down on strikes. Third strikeout for Pintaro, 2 out in the inning. SNY Play Ball, presented by Toyota, is back, looking to support local youth football leagues. If you know a league in need, apply today at sny.tv/playball. Hey, we just got great news. Our stage manager, Russ Relkin, is back home after his medical issues, and he is threatening to rejoin us on the next homestand.
Prove it, Russ.
I can tell you one thing, and this is no knock on, you know, our substitute stage manager, Bob Anderson. But if Russ had been here today, there is no way that he would have allowed Dave Freed to knock down our set. Bob, don't take any offense. We love you.
He held it up like the globe, like the world. So Russ would have been in there holding it up.
He would have tripped up Dave before he destroyed it. Russ is great at anticipating disaster and preventing it from happening. He works with Keith every day. I mean, Keith expects that his scorecards are laid out and his pens and his omelet. You know,
he
has certain expectations, and
Russ is great at setting the table.
Russ is always ahead of the curve.
I feel a little prima donna-ish now because Russ will bring me coffees during the broadcast, and I love it. I'm getting wired over here.
1-2 to Hicks, who has a couple of RBI hits in the game today. Pintaro having trouble putting Hicks away. William Hicks has had himself quite a season in his second year after being taken in the Rule 5 draft from Detroit. Had a good year last year, having a great year this year. Great piece. Guy can play catcher or first base.